This is your show, and we got all kinds of new and exciting things to talk about. But I've again, before we get anywhere else, I got to go to my email here, Brian. Pardon me, I'm not as quick as you are on the switching around and everything, but we have an update on the mystery that has taken over our lives over the past couple of weeks. Elijah from Norcross, Georgia, whose father was from Nigeria, swore that Jerry the King Lawler was part of the IWA television show that was broadcast over there in the 80s. And we said, well, everybody else, Ernie Ladd, Mil Mascaras, Mike Igor, everybody else you mentioned, but Lawler never worked for them. And then he, along with a couple other people, had sent the clip, cut and paste results of an IWA event at Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City, New Jersey. And there was Jerry Lawler in the preliminary match. And we said, we debated how this was possible. Well, this is from Chris from Texas, because he went to the newspaper archives, whichever ones he was studying also, and the report on that show on August 7th, 1975, it tells about all the matches that we spoke about and everybody that was there. And then it said Daisy May upset Maria de Leon, and Jerry Lawler, Loller. Jerry Lawler was an unpopular victory by a pin over Dan Sharp. And I have no explanation for why it was a Thursday night. Lawler was just again coming back into the Memphis territory. He'd been gone since January.
He was there in Memphis that Monday. Remember, we found that show.
Yeah. And they would have had to have flown him. It's not like he was going to drive to Jersey City, New Jersey. It's not like he had just come back to work for Jerry Jarrett, who still technically was part of the NWA with Goulas, who was not working with anybody that was going to run opposition to Vince Sr. or eventually Crockett and in the Carolinas. So it's still, I'd love to know if anybody actually was there and saw him. And the thing is, a lot of people are saying, well, but stars made appearances in different places, shots here and there, but this was before.
No, this is different.
No, nobody besides, and I'm not belittling Lawler, but this was 1975, except for the Tennessee territory and to a lesser extent, never having been a main event guy in Florida and Georgia. He'd never been anywhere. So this was so odd. And he would apparently, to the best of our ability, never work for him again, since we didn't know he worked for him this time. So that's the oddest thing that I've ever seen. Just wild, weird, wacky stuff, Ed.
Also because you think you would have heard something about it. The various issues that Jarrett and Lawler had over the years. They talked about it. They both had no problem talking about it. Never heard. And then Jerry came back and went to work outlaw in New Jersey that week. And then he came back again the next week. Now, this is the only thing we have found, because I found a few listings last time. I think it was from whenitwascool.com. No mention of Jerry Lawler. Had the other matches. This is a mention of a Jerry Lawler. Now, I guess if you had heard the name by the ring announcer and you never saw him or read his name before, that could be how you spell it, but it doesn't even say Lawler. So,
well, and this is a newspaper article. It has a byline by Mike Rowan. Doesn't mention what newspaper it's from, but it's local paper coverage. Probably not even the New York Times, the Jersey City Journal or whatever. But it has the rundown of the card that kind of seems like it would be written or helped out by one of the promoters. To the wild cheers of the crowd, the South American pair defeated the Mongols, but the excitement was just beginning. And he reached for the microphone and blah, blah, blah. 8,100 fans reported. And, he goes into detail on all of the matches. And then also Daisy May upset Maria De Leon. Jerry Lawler was an unpopular victor by a pin over Dan Sharp at 440. That's the only line about that match. So they flew Lawler from fucking Memphis to New Jersey to beat Dan Sharp in 4 minutes and never return. I don't.
It doesn't make too much sense.
And again, I'm tempted to just call the king. I haven't talked to him in ages, but just call the king but he, like I said, he probably wouldn't remember. And because he was like, did we do that last week? 40 years ago. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he always talks about it. I can't remember. The thing was, it's not like he's mentally deficient. He never gave enough of a shit about a lot of this to remember it.
You know who may know if it was him or not? Bill Apter. I don't know if he shot.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know if he shot that show or not, just because I don't know how it would have been looked
politically.
Yeah, I don't know if Vince McMahon Sr. would have said, okay, you can't shoot the Garden because you shot that show. But if Jerry Lawler was in the New York tri-state area, by 75, would Bill Apter have already met him?
He might not have met him, but he would have known who he was because the first articles in the Apter magazines about Lawler started in about 75 after that big run in 74, where it's like, holy shit. So that he started running stuff in 75 and God damn it, what year was the Burt Reynolds centerfold?
Oh, that was before then. Yeah, that was before then, I think, right?
Well, but Lawler did the takeoff. Remember?
Oh, I thought you meant Burt's one. Yeah, I know.
Well, I kind of did both, but what I'm meaning is that, and for the kids out there, what magazine was it? Was it Playgirl or was it Cosmopolitan?
I thought it was Playgirl, but now
probably Playgirl. Yeah, but they all wanted to see Burt's wing-a-ding, and Burt Reynolds, sex symbol movie star of the era, did a nude centerfold for Newsstand magazine, and it just got so much news
covering his parts, though.
Covering. Well, yes,
because Lawler did a play on that.
Well, yeah, I'm about to hold on. Who's fucking his dog? You're just holding its head. Lawler did a play on it, whereas Burt Reynolds was, of course, yes, he was covering his bits with what was it, the cowboy hat, or whatever the fuck he had over his what did they call it, twig and berries. Lawler used the crown, and he did a takeoff on the bearskin rug of Burt Reynolds' nude center. And not only did Apter run it, but actually they had black and white prints, because there's a black and white magazine anyway. Prints made 8x10s and tried to sell them at the fucking table. And Teeny, I saw him the first week. I got one, but Teeny saw him the first week. He's like, no, we're not doing it. And put him back in the fucking suitcase. But anyway, where were we going with that?
Who would know if Lawler was there? Who would be aware of who he was?
I'm writing down a note. Willie, if you're listening, but I'm going to send you an email.
Yeah, we hear from him every now and then when we mention him.
Lawler. All right, we're just making this up now as we go along. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of this, kids.
That's right.